our way to a very special place in the centre of Derby. It sits between two stretches of water and directly on top of two cross ley lines. This is going to be the centre of all our activities and investigations over the next 3 nights as we celebrate summer solstice, a time when there's reputedly more paranormal activity than any other time in the year. Also, Derby supposedly has more ghost sightings than any other city in the United Kingdom. This is Derby, and this is Most Haunted Live.
Welcome to Most Haunted Live in our very specially constructed centre of operations right here in the heart of Derby. Now, we'll be beaming live pictures to you for 3 solid hours every single day over the next 3 nights. We also have an audience of Most Haunted Live fans. Some 1,500 of them will join us over the next 3 nights. Now, we're fast approaching the summer solstice, and that's reputedly the time of the year when there's more paranormal activity than any other. And as you've just heard from Yvette there, we've chosen to come to Derby for this special occasion, well, simply because it's the city that boasts more evidence of paranormal activity than any other city in Great Britain. Now, regular viewers to Most Haunted Live will know that we have a very special team of investigators who are sent out from this operations centre live on air to places that are reported to have some sort of paranormal presence. Now, I also know that everyone here is absolutely desperate to meet them. I also know that as I speak, they're arriving outside right now. Let's see if we can see them. There they are. Here they come. So please welcome our very special team of paranormal investigators headed by Yvette Fielding and the incomparable Derek Akora. Now, the team is also made up of Tom on sound, John on camera, we've got Kath on makeup, Sally the floor manager, Carl the producer, and our new paranormal investigator. It's Kieran O'Keefe. Hello. Well, I have to say, it's absolutely fantastic to see both of you. It's very unusual, isn't it, that we meet at the beginning of the show. Now, I also know you've been out investigating. We can't stop you, but you found something quite extraordinary already.
We went on a particular vigil, and I have to say, we've actually caught something that we think is quite extraordinary, and here's a clue, out of this world. So it's something to look forward to. I'm not saying anything more than that.
But we'll see this later on tonight?
Yeah.
You going to tell us more?
No.
Thank you very much for the moment. Now, also, to help us to understand the facts that we already know, and also to evaluate the findings that will emerge from Yvette, from Derek, and the rest of this gorgeous team over the course of the 3-night event, please really welcome our very special panel of historians. It's Richard Felix and Richard Jones.
You are all able to take part in the experience. There are so many ways that you can become an important part of our investigation from your own armchairs, which is why our interactive team are standing by for your calls. So to get it all underway, please welcome our interactive host, the man with his finger on the nation's pulse. It's Mr. Julian Clegg.
Well, Hello, and we are looking forward to hearing from you over the next 3 nights. And there are so many ways you can do it. You can text us, you can phone, you can go on the website, you can fax us, and I'll be popping up from time to time to remind you of the numbers and to keep you up to date with your observations as well, and valuable contributions. More of that later, but back to David.
Thank you very much indeed, Julian. Well, it's now time to welcome 2 very special people that will be helping us over these 3 quite extraordinary nights. First is our special guest medium. It's David Wells, and with him, especially for all you skeptics at home and also our skeptics here in the audience, our very own expert skeptic and psychologist, it could only be Matthew Smith. Let me just ask you very, very quickly, Matthew. You often have the brunt of... A lot of people think I'm quite rude to you during the course of these shows.
Say that.
Well, I don't think I am particularly.
Not
What
at
are you
all.
expecting from the next 3 nights?
Well, as usual, I'm quite sceptical, but I'm full of anticipation. They tell me that Derby is the ghost capital of England, so we're in the right place, so I'm open to be convinced.
Have you experienced anything so far?
I only arrived today, so no kind of paranormal experiences so far, but the night is young.
The night is young, and David Wells, great to see you as well. Tell us what your role will be tonight.
Well, apart from obviously giving Matthew a very hard time, my role, I'm going to do some psychometry with an object and hopefully go out and find some spiritual activity as well.
And you're also going out hunting for river ghosts, aren't you?
I am, so believe.
We look forward to that. Thank you for the moment.
Now, I'm sure that you would all like to know more about our team, okay? These are the lovely people that are behind me. Some of you might recognise them from the series, but here are the stats files. Okay, now first of all we have myself, a complete screamer, absolutely pathetic. Then we have Kath Howe. Now she screams as well, we all know little Kath. Of course we've got the lovely Kieran O'Keefe, he's our brand new paranormal investigator for Most Haunted. We then have Derek Okoro, don't need to say anything about Derek, we all know about Derek. And then we have John Dibley, who is our cameraman. He had a very frightful experience at Belgrave Hall. Then we have Carl, my lovely husband, there he is. He's the stunt man of all of us. And then we've got a new person, Sally Matthews, who's our floor manager, and she is going to be scared to death tonight. Tom O'Carroll, he hears everything. He's our sound man that goes bump in the night. Now, all the stat files are available on our website, because we went through them very, very quickly there. So if you want to peruse at your leisure, then please do look at the website. But we have one important member missing. Now, throughout the course of these 3 nights, we will be inviting one member of the audience to join us on each of the many vigils, okay?
Yes, we certainly will. So let's see who the first lucky person will be. I can tell you it could be any one of you sitting here tonight. So what we're going to do, first of all, I'm going to ask our lighting director, Paul, to set some random lights going, okay? Now what I'm going to do is ask Paul to stop the lights when we hear the word 0. So let's have all the lights down. Here we are, random lights, okay? Now, audience, it is up to you. What we're going to do is get ready for a countdown from 10 to 0. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And who has that settled on? Where? Lady there, stand up for us. Lady in the pink, and stand up, give her a round of applause, come here. Come here, come here. Come here, come here, come here. You weren't expecting that, were you?
No.
What's
No.
your name?
Lisa,
Lisa, where are you from?
from Dave Court in Essex.
And are you a big fan of the show?
Yes,
So tell me, what's it like to be up here with Yvette, with Derek and with the rest of the team?
nervy.
Well, I'll tell you what I want you to do. Will you go and get acquainted with the new team that you're joining tonight?
Yeah.
I want you to get to know them, okay? And whilst you do that, all we have to do now is, while they get to know each other, is to wish the investigation team lots of luck. Because what we're going to do is we're going to send them off live to our first location. Now, what is that about? Well, it's a derelict house in Derby, and it has a very interesting past. That's all I'm going to tell you at this particular point. So, without further ado, Yvette, please will you take your team to the first of tonight's locations?
Okay. Bye, everyone.
So there they go, off to the first location. Well, you see, the lovely thing is I haven't told them where they're going. So where are they going? Well, we've sent them to a place called John Flamsteed's home. It's situated on Queen Street in Derby city centre, and it's a home. Now, what we can do tonight is bring up a 3D model of where they're going. So let's see that right now. OK, John Flamsteed, this is the house. Now, John Flamsteed was the first royal astronomer. He was appointed by Charles II, and this is the house that he lived in Derby. Now, it looks like a very normal kind of house, but he was very interested in both astronomy and astrology, and it was there as a young boy that he actually learnt more about his craft, and he used to look out of the window and he would make his observations. And from Derby he went to London, and where he became the first of the royal astronomers, and actually the Greenwich Observatory was built for him. We'll hear more about that a little later on. But that is the house. It looks very nice, but it actually has a dark past. Now, we saw earlier on that Kieran O'Keefe is our new paranormal investigator, and so what we did is we sent him there earlier on, and this is what he told us.
Tonight, in this house, I expect the investigative team to experience quite a lot of phenomena. A sense of presence, perhaps a drop in temperature, even spine tingling, these sort of things. Now, the focus I expect to be in the attic, because that's where a lot of the reports have come from.
So, what do King Charles II, a derelict house in the middle of Derby, and Greenwich Mean Time have in common? You'll find out after this break. I'm sure. Well, welcome back to Most Haunted Live, and welcome back to one of our biggest investigations to date, right here in Derby. Now, on tonight's show, we aim to investigate five different locations around Derby, which is well regarded as England's ghost capital. With over 1,000 paranormal sightings, it's no wonder. Now, tonight, we will be visiting the Silk Mill, the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. We'll also see a vigil at Arbor Low. That's a site which is known as the Stonehenge of the North. And later we move our investigation to the banks of the River Derwent, which may be home to some river ghosts, and we'll finish up at Ye Olde Dolphin Pub, where there have been reported sightings of floating trousers. Well, anyway, it's definitely going to be a very huge night here on Most Haunted Live, especially for our team of investigators, which of course includes members selected from our audience. Now, I also know that the team are close to arriving at John Flamsteed's home, but first of all, I've got a phone call, someone on the line. Is Selina there?
Hi, yes I am.
Hello, Selina. Tell us, you're watching the show at home, aren't you?
I am, yes.
But you've got a little story for us.
I have, yeah. I phoned up to tell people about one of my relatives lives in a cottage in Derby, which has had some very strange paranormal activity happening within it, and thought everybody there might want to know a bit more about it.
And what do you know about that paranormal activity?
Well, it's actually a relative of mine. Seems to be very sensitive to this sort of activity. She's actually seen a woman in the cottage dressed in sort of 60s attire, and she's heard giggling noises, and very strange things have been happening, like sometimes she can smell like cabbage cooking in the kitchen when nobody's in the kitchen cooking anything, which is obviously a lovely experience. And also the other smell is petulia oil, which comes and goes like a spot. It arrives and it goes really suddenly, which I've obviously seen the team experience in some of the visits that they've made.
And where are these cottages, roughly?
They're over by the golf course in Derby. I'm not sure of the
OK. Well, let's ask our historians over there. Can you shed any light on those particular cottages?
Well, a certain extent. It's very near Bredsall Priory, which actually goes back to the 13th century. And a lot of activity around there. I'm not quite sure how old those cottages are. They certainly go back to the 18th century. And who knows how many people lived and died in those cottages, and probably on that site even before those cottages were built. So it's just one of the many, many ghostly sightings and goings on in and around Derby.
Do you think you could look into this for Selina?
Oh, of course we will.
Fabulous.
Absolutely.
Selina, we'll look into it for you.
Thank you, that's great.
Good, and keep watching the show tonight.
I will.
Great stuff. Thank you very much indeed. Now, Yvette has just arrived at the location. We're going to go to them in just a minute. I think we can see pictures of them. There we are. You can see Yvette behind me. We'll go to them in just a minute. But first of all, we've got news of our viewer competition, haven't we, Julian?
Yeah, thanks, David. And here's a thought. 50,000 people wanted to be here tonight. And we've got 4 pairs of tickets for Monday's night show. So this really is a very special competition we're about to launch. And it's the first competition we've done on Most Haunted Live, so we're really excited about it. Now, if you'd like to win the tickets for Monday night show, this is how it works. Where does Derek Acora come from? Is it A, London, B, Liverpool, or C, Lithuania? No shouting out on the audience, by the way. So quiet. Okay, those are the 3 choices: London, Liverpool, Lithuania. Now, it's a text competition, so you need your mobile. Text haunted, then a space, comp for competition, then another space, then your answer, A, B or C, then your name, and the number, all importantly, 80088. 4 winners drawn at the end of the show coming here on Monday night. We're looking forward to seeing you. David.
Thank you very much indeed, Julian. OK, back to the first of tonight's locations. Now, John Flamsteed's house. OK, now what did I tell you about that earlier? Well, he was the first person to become the royal astronomer. He lived in Derby. This is where he knew all about astronomy and astrology. Here's a little bit more about the house that he lived in right here in Derby.
If ever a place needed blue plaques, then this house does. In this building in 1794, Joseph Wright the painter died. This was also the home of John Whitehurst, the very famous clockmaker. And on 2 occasions, Benjamin Franklin, the American statesman, stayed here in this house. But most of all, the most important and famous person that had anything to do with this place is John Flamsteed.
Nearly 300 years ago, John Flamsteed lived in this very house. He was a personal friend to King Charles II, and he was also the first astronomer royal. Apparently the whole house is haunted. Ghostly footsteps are heard, doors open and close on their own. But this isn't the most haunted room. For that, we have to go upstairs.
Tonight, in this house, I expect the investigative team to experience quite a lot of phenomena. A sense of presence, perhaps a drop in temperature, even spine tingling, these sort of things. Now, the focus I expect to be in the attic, because that's where a lot of the reports have come from.
The one particular room I wouldn't wish to stay in, I would think, would be Annie's room, which is the 3rd floor workshop. There was always an eerie feeling up there if you were on your own. It was called Annie's room because Annie was the maid of John Smith I's wife. I don't really know where it's derived from. It's just always been known as Annie's room as long as I can remember. There's a story about a director when he was looking at one night. He was at the top of the stairs up there, and he saw a figure go past the bottom of the stairs. And 2 clockmakers were working in the small repairs department. And a 3rd one was called Fred White, and he used to have a snooze at lunchtime. He used to snore very loudly, and David and George were sitting having their lunch, and they could hear this snoring, and David thought, gosh, Fred's driving them home again. And then he suddenly thought, hang on a minute, Fred's not here, he's out. So he opened the door to Annie's room, the 3rd floor. Very loud snoring, which gradually died away.
And as we climb the stairs to the upper floors, the atmosphere seems to change almost immediately. It's very, very depressing in here, and it's even more derelict. Now, a lot of the paranormal activity, strange noises, and also dark shapes seem to emanate from the attic, also known as Annie's room. The image of a dark, hazy figure of a woman has been seen in this room. Many people have nicknamed this ghost Annie. She used to be a maid that lived up here in the servants' quarters. Could it be her spirit that's responsible for all the poltergeist activity? Hopefully, we'll find out tonight.
What I would really like the Most Haunted crew to find tonight is to go up into Annie's room and just stay in there and film and listen and see how they feel.
So those are the stories, those are the paranormal sightings. And tonight is the night when we will send the team there. So let's go now live to Yvette, Derek and the rest of the team. Are you there, guys?
Yeah, we're here. Can you hear us?
Yes, I
yeah,
can.
I tell you what, I am absolutely freezing. We've just come into the first room now. It's pitch black, and I am shaking with cold. You're all right now. You calm down. You're okay, Lisa. Now, Derek, how are your initial reactions to this building?
Well, when I first just walked through into this atmosphere, really, I felt as if my head was just billowing, and that was, God, that experience tells me through the past is that we've got energies within this building that really basically don't want us to be here.
I am so cold. I am shaking
And
with cold.
yeah, I can understand that as well, but I feel as if there's more than one individual spirit person that is actually at times active in this building.
And hopefully later on we'll find them. How does everybody else feel? Tom, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling okay. It's not a very nice place.
Yeah.
But so far I'm okay.
Okay. What about Sally? How are you feeling?
I feel fine at the moment, actually. Yeah, not cold as you are.
Yeah.
Which is strange.
Are you quite warm?
Yeah, I'm actually really warm.
Carl?
I'm quite comfortable at the moment.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit eerie, but
All right. And John, on camera, how are you feeling?
I'm absolutely fine.
Yeah, you feel
Absolutely
okay?
fine, yeah.
All right, now, of course, for everybody at home and in the audience watching, we've got 4 webcams positioned strategically throughout the house where a lot of the activity has occurred. We've got 4 web cameras. The first web camera is in the large panelled room. The second webcam is in the smaller panelled room. The third webcam is up in the attic, Annie's room. And the 4th webcam is the entrance to the attic room. Please, we're asking you at home to keep an eye on these webcams and everybody in the audience. If you do see something, then you must let us know straight away. So we're going to sort of stay here and see what happens as we start wandering through the house, David. It's freezing. Apparently we've got orbs floating above our heads. Apparently, we've just been told on my earpiece, so I don't know what the webcams are picking up. I'll be interested to see what's on there. It really is. I am freezing. I can't explain it. Are you not cold, Lisa?
Only my hands.
Just your hands. You're all right,
Yeah,
Kieran?
it is slightly cold just in this spot.
Yeah. How are you feeling about the whole thing so far? Just being in this one room.
I'm looking forward to actually going around this house
Okay.
because there is a lot of history here.
Okay. Well, we'll do that in a little while. We'll get accustomed to the house, David. It's back to you and the audience in the hub.
Thank you very much for the moment, Yvette. Thanks very much indeed. It's very interesting that whole thing, Matthew, about being cold. It's not a particularly warm evening, I have to say.
No, it's quite striking in terms of it's cooler than it has been previously this week. The fact that all of them are experiencing it being cold there may simply be because it's the first time they've got out this evening. But, you know, it's interesting. It's a start. There's plenty of time for other things to happen. Nothing particularly kind of that couldn't be explained in terms of just conventional terms.
All right, thank you very much, Matthew. Let's go over now to join our friend Julian, because David Wells is over there, and you've got some more news for us.
Yeah, thanks, David. And tonight, not only a competition, but a psychic experiment for you. Have a look at this. This is a bayonet, and it's from one of the locations that we're in tonight. I don't know which one it is, but we want you to have a go at thinking about where it might be in our psychic experiment. And also if it has any history, or you can think of anything it has a connection with, or somebody you know, or some bit of history you know. And with us, David Wells, medium and astrologer. David, lovely to see you, by the way.
You too, John.
Tell me what the viewers should be doing when they're sort of looking at this and thinking about it.
I think, you know, we hear this expression tuning in quite a lot, and I think the first thing you have to do before you tune in is you have to tune out. You've got to get rid of all the superfluous stuff of the day, the shopping list, the kids, etc., if you can. Just try and empty your mind, clear your mind. And then the key here is really to let the images come to you. Don't force those images. Just make your mind go blank and let things come to you.
Right, and later you're going to be doing this yourself. What
Going
happens
blank,
when? What do you do when you do that?
I do exactly that. I'm going to stick with the object first of all in my hand, and I will close my eyes and just do exactly what I said. Just let my mind go blank, which isn't too difficult for a Gemini, for at least 5 minutes. Let it go blank and see what comes to me, really. That's the key.
So we want you to get in touch. Once again, we've got a text number, all importantly, for this experiment, this psychic experiment. So first of all, text haunted, then space, EXP for experiment, space, then your message about what you're thinking about this bayonet, then a space, your name, space the area where you're from, and the number, all importantly, 83088. Or you can go to the website at the usual address, livingtv.co.uk/mosthauntedlive. That's the experiment, the psychic experiment tonight. David, back to you.
I like the sound of that one, Julian.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
It's
very,
good.
very much so. I shall find out what people are coming up with. Okay, we were going to go straight back to Yvette, Derek and the rest of the team, but what we have to do, first of all, is take a break. But what we will do is go straight after the break. We'll go back to Derek, Yvette and the rest of the team as they go deeper into John Flamsteed's house. Join us then.
Don't ever be his enemy, because you're in for a lot of trouble.
Cool, suave and notoriously charismatic, but did old Blue Eyes also have a darker, more dangerous side?
They threw a couple of glasses up against these windows, and every time we replace those windows, they crack.
Skeptic Gail Porter investigates the life and possible afterlife of Frank Sinatra.
I've had enough. Come on, out, no, out, no.
Dead Famous continues this Tuesday at 9, exclusive to Living TV.
Welcome back to Most Haunted Live. Yes, for the next 3 nights between 9 and 12, we are live from here in Derby. Now, before the break, Derek, Yvette and the rest of the team, including a member of our audience, which was randomly selected, were out investigating paranormal activity at a derelict house in Derby. But without further ado, let's go back and rejoin the team.
Personally, I would like to, you know what I'd like you to do, Evie?
Yeah?
Because, again, don't ask me why, but because you're a lady and what have you, would you ask this soul to give some kind of evidence that he is about? Because I feel we are being listened to by him.
Okay, all right. So if we all...
He may respond, you see, because the female heel.
And then after you ask, if we can just have complete silence.
Yeah.
None of the crew move.
And also, if we can take the music down as well in the hob, so that if anybody at home can actually hear anything while we're concentrating, that would be really helpful. So if we can take the music down as well, that would be really great. Okay, so I'm just going to be really quiet now for a minute. Okay. Is there anybody here in this room? Are there any spirits here in this room that would like to talk to us? If your name is John, can you please try and communicate with us? Please, can you do something? Can you make a noise? Can you rap on the panels? Can you make footsteps? Can you walk across the floor above us? Can you do something, please? Anything at all. If you can hear my voice clearly, if you can see us, show some lights so that we can see where you are. Make a noise, do anything at all. Touch one of us. Do something. Anything at all. Is he still listening, Derek?
He is. Yeah. Again, he could be of, you know, a spirit person because of his nature that I'm picking up. Is that maybe he'll want to play with us. I don't know. I thought that he'd probably respond to you, you know, being female, rather than, you know, to the likes of myself.
Okay.
Or another man.
What was that? Was that a car outside? I know that's revving, but thumps. No? Maybe it was just... What?
I heard a muffled bang, yeah.
Did you? Did you hear what... That's what I heard. Did anybody else hear it? Just Kath and Carl?
I heard it.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, I think we should go upstairs.
From upstairs. Is there...
Yeah. Okay.
Is there anybody upstairs?
Is there anybody upstairs that we know
We
of?
have everybody here.
Okay, should we go upstairs?
Okay.
Let's go. Okay, so...
Let's go upstairs.
All right, John, do you want to go first with the camera? Because we've got a cable. Now we're going to go upstairs, and it is quite treacherous because some of the stairs are quite tricky, so it'll take us a little while to get up there. But I definitely heard what can be described as sort of thuds, sort of quite muffled thuds. You didn't hear them though, did you, Kieran?
No.
Okay. No. All right. Okay, all right. David, we're going to reposition as we go upstairs where we heard those thuds coming from. It'd be interesting to find out if anybody else heard them in the studio. While we reposition, it's back to you.
Thank you very much indeed. Matthew, I mean, Derek coming up with the name John, even I'm not particularly impressed.
No, I think that name in and of itself doesn't really tell us anything. Again, the noise they've heard so far, some people hearing them, some not hearing them. Even Yvette said she thought she heard something, but not everyone did, possibly even outside sources. Again, it's very difficult to assess these kinds of experiences in terms of deciding, is this something really paranormal? So be very, very careful, very cautious, and make sure you don't over-interpret things. That's always the problem. But again, you know, there's plenty of time yet.
Plenty of time yet. Well, thanks for the moment. Let's go over and say hello to our historians tonight. First time we've met, really, tonight.
Good evening.
So, you are a Derby man, aren't you?
I am indeed, yeah.
So, are we in the right place tonight?
Oh, for hauntings and ghosts, of course we are. Yeah, this is the dead centre of England, so this is the ghost capital of England. There are more ghosts here than anywhere else in the country, almost. Yes, this is the place, promise.
Now, Richard Jones, we're talking about John Flamsteed here. They're in that house now. I mean, he went to London. What are we doing in Derby? Is it really relevant?
Very much so. It was interesting what Derek was picking up there. He picked up on a man's energy strutting up and down in an agitated state. One of the things with John Flamsteed is that his father didn't want him to go to university, ostensibly because John was a very sickly child, and so his father prevented him from going to university, which caused a lot of difficulty between the two of them, and he actually did have a very difficult relationship with his father.
And how swayed are you by the alleged sightings of paranormal activity?
In the house itself?
Yes.
I think I'd like to see a bit more, and maybe see more evidence.
Well, maybe we will in just a second. Julian, do you have an update for us?
Yeah, very busy on the webcams, David. Joanna Kirkbride of Huddersfield saw a ghostly figure walk from the door to the bookcase and back again at approximately 8:35. Alex Frappel from Gidea Park logged on at 8:42 and saw a man on the stairwell. And Chorley resident Sharon Ann caught a figure in the doorway whilst mist travelled along the floor around about 8:33. Now, over the next few nights, we're going to meet the interactive team who are answering your calls, taking your emails. And Jane is here with some thoughts and texts and so on. What have people been saying, Jane?
Well, one thing we're very interested in are converging stories. And before the show even started this evening, we had 4 people, including Sarah Pearcey and Carol Baring, who emailed us to say that they think one of the team is going to have a problem with a sore neck this evening.
Really?
Also, very strange webcam 2, Mark from Halifax, Lee from Port Talbot, and others have all told us they see a face above the fireplace.
Right, so keep your texts, your calls, your website is coming, and we'll come back later in the programme. David, back to you.
Thank you very much indeed. I can see that Yvette and the rest of the team are exploring deeper. Let's see if we can go back over to them now.
Okay, we're here. We're upstairs. We're actually in the entrance to Annie's room there, which actually looks awful. It looks really not very nice at all. How are you feeling so far? Okay. Yeah? Yeah. Did you hear the thumps above us or not? No. No. One thing we have to be careful, I know that, is sort of like, and you'll say this, is that we all sort of react off each other as well, and not get too hysterical, as it were. I mean, I'm jumpy as anything. So this is the room where we would have heard the thuds. Kath heard them, Carl heard them, and I heard them. You heard them.
Yes, yes.
Nobody else did.
No.
So this is the room where it would have come from. Are you picking up on the fact that maybe the spirit John could be in this room?
Well, he most certainly moves about, Ivy. But you see, the moment we came up here and we were facing this way, my first attention hit me in my shoulders, just turn round and look in there. And, you know, I feel as if we're getting a great deal of activity at times in there, through that doorway.
Okay.
Now, I don't know why, but it seems as if I've got 2 levels of 2 separate energies, 2 separate individual spirit people. And what I want to do, as I walk close to that door, all I want to do is to sob, cry, and be very, very, very upset.
Okay.
That's what the energy's thrown out to
I
me.
know everybody at home and everybody in the audience will say, well, go on in then. So I think that's what we'll have to do. So, John, if you want to go in first and set up, because it's really is very, very dark in there. I don't like the look of that at all.
No, it's
not nice. There's steps down there. Yeah, be careful.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate this. This has got a horrible... Oh, God. Oh, my God. Be careful. Oh, the smell, it's horrible up here. Yeah. Oh. Oh, I don't like Where's Lisa? Is she all right?
She's coming
There's a
by.
great deal of sadness in this.
Sadness.
Great deal of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know? Come over this way.
There's a state of misery here.
What sort? Who?
Despicable things happened up here.
What? What sort of thing?
I can't tell. I'm just zooming in on it now. Okay. It's connected with this, John.
John.
Yeah.
Who moved that there? No, she's not. Fine. Sorry. I apologise.
Where's that rumbling? Has that come outside?
There's a stench here as well.
I think it is from outside. Yeah.
This is going to sound weird, but it's to me.
Sorry.
I don't know if anyone else can experience this right now. But you know, when you go into a room when it's full of stale ale, the smell, stale, a staleness, and yet I don't feel it's attributed to stale ale. But that's what's coming to me, and it's a stench.
What would that be then? Why would that be like that?
Come on, Sam, you have to help me with this. Come on.
Who was that? Who was that?
Okay.
Did you do that?
Yes.
You did?
Okay. Sadness, I can't break through this barrier. You know what I feel? What's happening here?
Yeah.
I feel as if the influence of the energies of the name John is trying. It's not happened a lot, but it's trying to stop me from breaking open the mental pictures, even from the residual energy here.
You're saying there's been some despicable things that have happened in this particular space here.
I feel so here.
And
Yes, separate from this room.
Are you saying that John is the person responsible for it, and
I
that's why he's covering up the information?
I do. I really do. I really do.
Try and get a surname. Get Sam to give you a surname.
What I am now receiving, maybe he's helping me with this, is I've got I feel he's trying to give me that mental imagery of the name John, a man who would be in his, I feel, late 40s, early 50s. He would be not of heavy set at all, just a little bit above average height. I'm feeling, there's no physical man behind me, but I'm feeling energy at the back of my ear. It's negative energy. I feel it would be him.
Is he there now?
I feel his energy's at the back of me.
He's coming forward.
Yeah.
Can you sense anything on the EMF at all, Kieran?
No.
Nothing at all.
Okay.
Well, the webcams are there. It'd be
there.
interesting to see if anybody at home is actually seeing or anything on the webcams.
There's also it seems as if why I'm being shown this, I'm seeing for some reason two separate books or ledgers connected here with here, and I feel that they've either been destroyed or they've been hidden or in connection with something that has happened here in this building.
Okay. Well, we're just going to stay here for a little while longer and maybe be a little bit quiet. Stay with us. Join us after the break. We're going to be staying in this horrible, horrible place. I personally can't wait to get out. But do stay with us and we'll see you after the break in a little bit. Oh, it's really Hello and welcome back to Most Haunted Live. Now we are here in John Flamsteed's house. We started off at the bottom of the building. In the second room, the first room that we went to, sorry, the large panel room, we actually did hear, well, three of us out of our group did hear two thudded bangs above us. We've come up to investigate and we've ended up in what's called Annie's room, which is in fact the attic. It's very, very dark. Before we went to the break, Derek, you were sensing that you know, there was a person here.
Yes.
Who, you know, and I think you were saying that it's John who you were picking up earlier on.
Name John, yes.
Any surname or anything coming through like that?
No, not at the moment, but you know, I do know, and it's followed us right the way through the house, and it's not just the residual energy. This spirit person does not want us here in this dwelling.
Well, then why can't he do something to show us he doesn't
Well,
want us here?
you know, maybe his thoughts, you know, I've been sending thoughts out thick and fast apart from yourself, and I'm waiting for him. But you see, it's like, when we leave the physical body, we still have a free will, and our personality traits will control what we want to do. And I feel maybe this particular person is most definitely listening.
What if I was to talk out and actually not agitate in a kind of, maybe that would be to agitate, as it were, to actually say, oh, would you think that would not be a good idea?
Well, no, I mean, you can beckon him, I suppose, but rather than, you know, oh, there's something now coming.
Good.
Okay. This man's energy, and it's just like Sam's given me like a replay to it. When he's angered, when he's been angered and he's agitated, when he's walking through the different rooms, Sam has just said here, he's agitated, he's hiding something. I feel that there were the ledges. Something hiding, and he didn't want, he was so protective of these ledges, and, you know, hatred is through this, the energies through these rooms, downstairs, up here, and the name was given just to me now. A hatred for Edmund. Right. For Edmund. Now, I feel this has got some connection with the name John. And I feel these ledges, it's like as if I've got this energy that seems to be, you know, coming around, surrounding me, and as if I want to walk, I don't want to be strutting, and, you know, as if I'm taking the place of this name John, say, Edmund, no! Edmund, no! So basically, the energies I feel dispelled here, and not just unhappy with us being here as a team, but also with the name Edmund.
Okay.
And I feel,
Well, come on then, John. If you can hear my voice, do something. Are you a coward? Come on. Come and do something. Make a noise, anything at all, to prove that you're here. Can you hear me? Can you hear my voice? Do something. Try and move something. Come on, John, or any spirit that's in this house. Try and touch one of the crew members here. Try and make them feel cold. Do anything at all. Walk across the floor. Do something.
look at that. What? That's giving me a mental imagery here. God, it's like as if I'm looking. His energies. This person who's close by now is showing me something here. He's showing me, the only way I can describe it, I'm seeing the moon, and I'm seeing the sun, and I'm seeing all these, it's like dotted planets and stars, and the energies of thought are just surrounding me here now, as if I want to look up.
Who is this connected to?
Who's this connected to, Sam? Okay. The deep thinking of John. The deep thinking of John.
But you're saying John wasn't a very pleasant man.
No, I
But
know.
there's is it astronomy link?
Is
or
this astronomy?
astrology?
Astronomy?
Or astrology? What are we looking at here?
Okay. I feel we're looking at astronomy.
Okay.
Astronomy? Most definitely. Not astrology. Astronomy. And I feel, you see, this is really strange to me, this. I'm getting those negative feelings one moment, then I'm getting this deep thought, and as if I long, I must be taking the place from his energies, sitting here, and I've got papers, and I've got these ledgers, and, you know, this person, you know, wouldn't...
What was that?
Did you hear that?
Did you hear that?
Wait, was this
Who
the
heard
sound
that?
here?
What was that?
It popped.
Blue bubble gum or something.
Was it a big, like a pop, wasn't it? Tell me what you heard.
It was a pop.
Like
Pop. I didn't move, it wasn't me.
Tally?
I thought someone had like blown the bubble gum or something. It popped.
Carl, did you hear it?
Yeah, it was like a. It sounds like that. Or something on the ground that was moving. The foot was moving.
Could it have been aground? Kieran, what do you think?
Could it be? I heard it too. It's not that we're hallucinating. It's not some auditory hallucination. I heard it too. The difficulty is trying to decipher whether it is actually just a foot moving and somebody didn't consciously realise it. But yeah, we definitely all heard it.
What was that?
That was me, that was
That
me.
was you, that was you.
There is some broken glass
On the floor. Could have been that, but it sounded like a real definite, it sounded like something was falling from the floor to me. Did you hear that, Lisa?
Yeah.
You did?
A popping sound.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, that's fascinating what you've come out with.
Now.
Yeah?
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Sorry for... I'm just...
No, go on.
Something quite bad happened here. Go on, Sam, give that for me. Help me with this. Go on. The name John is not happy over something connected to him. He didn't wish this, and I feel bitter because of it, Sam, just give me it. Give it to me again, Sam. It looks like 1719. 19.
Okay, we'll leave it there because I know we have to go. David, it's back to you in the hub.
Thank you very much. Now, Yvette, I want you guys, the team, to move tonight's investigation on. So will you go to our next location, please?
Yeah, we're on our way.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Now, for viewers at home, what I can tell you is that what we did in the break before that was we chose, by random, another member of our audience here to join them at location number 2. And that lady was a very lucky lady called Helen John, and she's off to that second location as well. OK, whilst they reposition, let's go straight to the history, boys, because I want to pick up on a couple of things Derek came up with. 1719 and hatred for Edmund. Which one of you wants to start?
1719 is the year that John Flamsteed, and of course it's his house, he died on the 31st of December 1719. He's picked up on John, and there were actually at least 4 Johns.
When did he die, though?
He didn't die there, he died at Burstow, in Essex. Nothing to do whatsoever with Derby at all. He mentions some ledgers, which is very interesting because John Flamsteed had serious problems with a book that he wrote, but not there, called The True and Apparent Diameters of All the Planets, and it was pinched by Isaac Newton and also, Richard?
By Edmund Halley.
By what?
By Edmund Halley. Edmund Halley was an astronomer, Halley's Comet's named for him. He actually succeeded John Flamsteed as the Royal Astronomer, and there was a lot of animosity between the two of them. For some reason, personality clash, but probably a lot of professional jealousy as well, so he did have a dislike for him.
And another very interesting fact that very few people know, Stephen Flamsteed, who was John Flamsteed's dad, who lived there of course, was a maltster. And did Derek not mention
Yes, he
stale
did. I mean,
beer?
Derek said unspeakable things happened here. Father didn't want him to go to university, I think, was what we discussed about. But I think Derek came up with that stuff. So what you're saying is this hatred for Edmund was a rival to him and may well have taken those ledgers? Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say it was a hatred. It was certainly a dislike.
No,
as a
Derek
professional.
said hatred for Edmund.
He said hatred, yeah. It wasn't as defined as a hatred.
And it wasn't at that house, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it was all in London. I mean, that's the thing to make clear. This was all in London.
Well, let's ask Matty what he makes of that. You know, Derek has never been there before. John, the name John, okay, not very impressed by that. But this idea of hatred for Edmund, the protective of the ledgers, 1719, and the fact that the guys, as Kieran said, weren't having auditory hallucinations, they all heard something. Can you put that together?
Well, yeah, in terms of the information being given, I think now we're going beyond than just simply name of the name John. That's not surprising, you know, it's John Flamsteed's house. I think the information that's being said is kind of very specific, and it suggests then that Derek's on form. Again, I'm not necessarily convinced he's got it through paranormal means. That's one possible interpretation. But at the very least, he suggests he's on form. We may see more information tonight, which suggests, perhaps more convincingly, that he couldn't have picked up through any normal means.
Quite good, though.
Good start.
OK, good start, good start. Thank you very much. Right, Julian, what are people saying at home?
Well, David, I've had this story in front of me for a few minutes, actually, before Derek said Edmund. But listen to this. Edmund Richardson is alone in his house watching the show, and he clearly heard someone say, Edmund, Edmund, behind him. When he turned round, there's no one there. That is quite extraordinary. That was phoned in a little bit earlier. More reports coming of people feeling very cold, such as Robin, who started to get chills and goosebumps, even though she's sitting in front of a fire tonight. And as ever on Most Haunted, people ring in with strange happenings in their homes. Electrical objects seem to be turning themselves on and off, electricity cutting out. And of course, we must repeat our competition so people can be here tonight on Monday night. We've got 4 pairs of tickets to come and see the show. You could be here in the audience. And as I said earlier, 50,000 people want to be at the show, so this is your chance. 4 pairs of tickets that we'll pull out at random later. Where does Derek Acora come from? Quiet in the audience. A, is it London? B, Liverpool? C, Lithuania? Those are the choices. Text your answer to haunted space comp space A, B or C, your answer, space your name and the number 80088.
Fantastic.
So that will be great. We'll see you on Monday night.
Ah, good. And get those entries coming in. And of course, don't forget, you can also ring us as well. 08712 448804. We want to hear your stories, your paranormal stories at home, but also if you have stories about Derby in particular, maybe about John Flamsteed's house, or maybe about some of those other locations that we're going to investigate tonight. The night is young. There's so much more to come. We'll see you in a few minutes after this break. Welcome back. This is Most Haunted Live. We're here till midnight tonight and indeed over the next 2 days. Now, earlier this week, our investigation unit held a vigil at Arbor Low. Now, that's known as the Stonehenge of the North. It's situated on land where there's been a lot of reported paranormal activity. And one of our viewers, Vince Draper, he was there and he's also here in the audience tonight. We'll be speaking to him in just a bit. That's all still to come. Now, what they found was extraordinary. Take a look.
I can honestly say that this is probably the scariest place in the whole of Derbyshire. This is Arbor Low, the Temple of the Sun. This is a place of earth energy. It's crisscrossed with ley lines. And in the 1970s, a group called the Dragon Project did some research here and found that at certain times of the year, the actual stones were emanating ultrasounds and also electromagnetic signals. And of course at night the locals will never go near this place. There is reported to be what's known as a boggart, which is a mischievous spirit that wanders around the area. And not only that, but they also believe that this is a place that attracts UFOs and extraterrestrials. And of course, being here at this time of year, the time of summer solstice, it's going to be extremely interesting to see just what the investigators will come up with.
Where would you like to sort of, is there a particular area you want to stand? Because I think we're right in the centre of the stone circle by looking at it. Is there any particular?
Well, we actually walked past, I don't know how I can describe it, a very large, flattish stone going back there. When I walked past that area, I got a few mind's eye experiences, the energies that were being thrown out. So if we walk back, maybe they will come back again.
I can't believe how quiet it is.
Yeah.
You can hear the odd cow, can't you? But there's supposed to be wild cats here as well, aren't there?
Yes, yeah, there are. Well,
nice.
They say there are, but...
Have you experienced or seen anything? Have you been here before then?
I've walked here during the day, but I've never experienced anything. Like I say.
It's just unnaturally quiet, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
This area
This
here?
is the area, yeah, as we walk past. I don't know why, but just psychically, if not maybe spiritually as well, again that atmosphere is coming out at me. Now this could be, I feel probably residual, it's not activity as such, but I seem to be very strongly. Earlier on I was getting this like chanting, but a group chanting, and then as we come past here I seem to have one solitary figure. That one solitary figure seems to be, and I'm just copying what the energy's telling me he's doing, and he's looking up like this up into the skies, and it's like as if he's sending, it's again, he's sending out a chant, and then I saw, or I was allowed to see, like an eclipse, and it went dark, and then it started to open up again, and the light came to this figure, and it was a chant, and the only way I can describe it, I've not come across this before, ever, Ivy, and what I feel this is that there's a person, the head of a group of souls, a group of people who are chanting to the skies.
Who's they?
I feel this is a group of people that I've got, I've never firmly had proof, even spiritually, or a belief of what we call extraterrestrial. However, standing here, these energies that are thrown out, the residual energies, tell me that this one single one, if not the whole group, are waiting for arrival, or wishing an arrival, and it's coming from up there. And this is, I've got to say, thank you, Sam, this is not burial.
Right.
It is not discount the burial. There's not burial here. This is all to go up.
So you're saying that this spirit, this energy that you're picking up,
Is of a soul.
He's not from this planet.
He's not from here.
So is it mediumship? Are you picking up a discarnate entity? Or?
Yes. I pick up his energies because I feel he does walk here in that what we call spirit body, and even he, not being from here, would be of spirit body, but of progressed body, progressed spirit body.
You see, I do know that a lot of lights have been seen around Arbelo, a heck of a lot of lights.
I feel they're the energies of this group of people. I feel he promised these souls that were helping him a greater understanding, a greater life, when his people came to prove not just what he was saying. And I feel this group were together for a number of our years, waiting in anticipation, and I feel it finally came. It finally came. But something happened in the transition that he didn't go.
Something negative?
Yes. I feel something happened that prevented his collection, this cataclysmic thing in this area. And you know, I'm also, because it takes me, if you can check back with this, there was great fire here. Great fire. Flames. And I feel it would have been attributed to this.
What do you think, Kieran?
The link with extraterrestrial, it's a very, very difficult thing to prove. I mean, you admit that yourself, and, you know, just in terms of your natural ability. It's not an uncommon theory when you look at stone circles and the whole Earth mystery area, that there is a link between stone circles and extraterrestrials, and some people say they were used as some sort of praying circle to pray to extraterrestrials or to make communication. So I don't find it unusual necessarily that Derek has found this link. What is fascinating is that Derek is getting this link.
Yeah.
It's not mediumship.
No.
You know, it's.
I haven't come across this before.
No, you haven't, no. Kath, Sally, are you two alright?
There's something weird over here. We're
What?
keeping an eye on it. It's not weird, it's just like there's a light. It's moving in a really odd way.
Odd way, what do you mean?
It's kind of stand and watch. See that orange light there?
Yeah. What colour, what kind of light?
It like raised up.
Oh, you
and
can
then
see it moving.
Yeah. Look, see, look.
Now we
Straight
come
ahead.
higher.
The only light on the hillside over there. See, it's going up.
It's
It's
hovering.
going up now.
It's hovering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still can't see it.
Yeah, honestly,
Moving
come
up now,
on.
look. And down. Can you see it?
No.
I can't.
I
Can't
know.
you see it?
Yeah. I know what he's pointing at.
Can you see it, Kieran?
You see
I
it now?
can see it.
I mean, it's been there for quite a long time, Kieran, and it's moved up now. Like,
Oh, what's that over there?
What?
yeah,
Over there. There's that there.
that's a plane, yeah.
Oh, it's a plane check. I just suddenly shut up in it.
That's moving the
Oh,
opposite way now,
God, what
see?
the hell is that?
Moving.
look!
I can see that.
Look at it!
Yes. Yes.
I got it now. Can you see that, Carl? John?
Yeah,
it's gone.
It's gone out now.
It's gone out.
Let me switch off the
light.
light.
Weird.
Yeah. Okay, we thought that was a plane.
It's not a car because it's going up in the air.
That was up in the air.
No, it's not.
It's gone.
It's not a firework, is it?
No, it would have exploded.
Well, let's make... That was weird. It's gone. Let's make our way back together in a group. Come on then, everyone. Let's go.
So what was that? Was that paranormal activity? Was it extraterrestrial activity? Well, let's find out. Will you please, ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause to our member of the audience, Vince Draper. Hi there. Good to see you. Come and have a seat. Vince, are you a believer or a skeptic?
Believer.
You are a believer.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us exactly what you saw there.
Well, to start off with, I couldn't see anything. Apparently there was some lights over in the distance. But the only, I mean, you didn't pick it up there fully, but that light you saw actually went right up into the sky, hovered for a few seconds, and then dropped back again. So before that, I couldn't see any lights.
So just explain those lights that you saw. Where were they roughly?
There was over in the distance. I mean, I walked up there during the day, and where the lights were, there's like a line of trees over in the distance there.
Okay.
So there's nothing they could come from.
Vince, just explain those lights, exactly what you saw. We'll watch it back now. Just talk us through what we're seeing here. Okay, let's have a look now at this. Here we go.
Right, yeah. That's one of the lights that we saw. I mean, it shoots up in the air there. You didn't actually catch it on the camera. It hovered for a few seconds, and then it dropped back down again.
And do you think this was paranormal activity, or could you explain it?
I could explain it, no.
You couldn't?
No.
Matthew Smith, what do you make of that?
Me trying to explain it. Well, having not been there, it's difficult again to give a possible explanation. In terms of what we saw on the footage, it did look as though, as we're seeing here, it looks as though it's moving in very unusual ways. Given that the camera, I guess, would be getting handheld, you can't rule out the possibility that there's camera movement there that could explain, at least in part, some of those unusual movements. Also, I noticed when we were looking through the footage, before the unusual lights were being observed, there were other lights happening there as well that no one was commenting on. So I think it's always, you've got to be careful not to over-interpret what's happening. The fact
what would you say to Vince?
Yeah, the fact that Vince is saying that at least on one occasion you're fairly clear, you saw the light move up in a very unusual way. That could be of interest, and if you've got lots of people kind of corroborate that sighting, then that's of interest. Again, the footage itself to me is no more striking than many other times people have seen stuff. But again, it's very curious. Again, it's curious that it's in a place where it's the standing stones, where lots of people have witnessed these kinds of things. But it's not so easy to come up with a ready explanation. So curious, and some people might find it more impressive.
Well, I can't explain what it was, but I think it was possibly something extraterrestrial, possibly.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Matthew?
Well, again, I don't believe in extraterrestrial. I don't think that many of those lights are like to explain it, but it's an unusual light. I guess at the very least it seems to be anomalous. I wouldn't draw too much from the footage there because the camera was handheld, so therefore any movements could at least in part be explained by those kinds of movements.
Thank you, Matthew, for the moment. Right, come over here. Let's go and meet David Wells. Thank you very much. Now, David, you are a medium, and you're also... Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing tonight.
Well, I'm doing psychometry, the experiment of psychometry that's looking at the bayonet. And then I'm looking for Ghost Down by the River.
So you're doing this psychometry with the bayonet. Right. And just to explain what you're trying to do, are you trying to feel something about it?
It's a combination, David, really. You try to feel, sense, see, whatever you can use, really. Use how you feel physically. So you may feel, someone using the bayonet, or how you use it. You may get images, you may get sound, smells, just whatever comes to you.
Okay, and how confident are you that you can actually hold that bayonet and then tell us something about the history? Because I'm a sceptic about that.
I'm fairly confident I can tell you something about the history. If I actually get my hands on it, if Julian lets it go for 5 minutes, I'm fairly confident I can actually give you something.
And as a medium, very quickly, we're right in the centre of Derby. We're at this confluence of ley lines. Is there paranormal activity where we're sitting right now?
Definitely, ley lines, the whole paranormal thing is about energy. You hear the word a lot. Energy is what it feeds off. Ley lines, all these people here, the solstice, people all over the world celebrating the solstice, massive energy.
Massive energy.
Massive energy.
But what will happen tonight, we'll find out in a few minutes after this break.